This is Soniera Lynn, and you are now listening to the Anime Assemble podcast with your host, Indy Uchiha and John Forsaken Power.
Yo, and we are back. What's up, Forsaken? It's been a minute, but we can go ahead and get into the rest of what's going on with Bleach. I went ahead and just waited and just, knocked it all at once.
For sure.
It ended on a cliffhanger. We know there's more to come, but it's not until I think later. Is it early next year or later this year?
I think July was coming back. Something's coming back.
July.
I think it was July.
Yeah,
that Bleach was coming back.
So a highly anticipated return for when that jumps off, in July. Overall, without giving anything away right now, what did you think about the first part of 1,000 Year Blood War arc that you've seen so far?
I really like where they ended up. It was a good start since they're doing it in the section paths that they're doing it. Now, if this is where it would have ended, let's say they gave it 24 episodes versus the 13 that they did, then it'd be a different story. But given how many episodes they had in order to get to this point, I'm pretty content with how they did the first part. So hopefully, they keep it up. But yes, very, very, very well done.
Yeah, I really like the animation. I really like the way some people have issues with the pacing of the story.
That's fair.
I honestly feel like it's been paced well. I feel like we're getting a lot more explained to us than we did in the manga and some, in some iterations on what we're getting. We had some revelations of things going on that were honestly foreshadowed since the beginning of Bleach.
The dawn of time.
I have to remember the thing that stood out to me that I feel like I wanted a little more time with was the battle of the Kenpachis that Ria got.
They did run through that kind of quick. I feel you there, but I think if they would have spent too much time on it, it would have lost its impact. Right. As well. So that's my thing about it. I wish they would have gave more time, but at the same time, if they would have gave more time, it would have, in a sense, to me, diluted, I guess, the impact of what happened with that fight.
Well, this is what I don't understand, because I wasn't big on part of the manga and what was going on, especially a backstory on these two characters. I mean, I understand what we learned from Kenpachi and who he was, Little Badass. He's some people's favorite, character on this show, but he was just a bloodthirsty savage, as a kid that was just taking out, looking for a strong fighter to combat with.
He was a muscle-headed fighter.
Yeah, that ran up against the first Kenpachi, so which means he's the second, which means nobody dethroned him since he dethroned her for that title.
There was no need for another.
Which is interesting to me. Tell me a little bit about like that whole thing for those who don't know about that.
So for Squad 11, they're supposed to be the strongest of the strong. They are, when you need muscle, they're your muscle. And whoever's the head, they're known as the Kenpachi, hence, the name, right? So Unohana, she was the original. We come to find out from this first part of the arc that Unohana was a part of the original Gotei 13, a part of the so-called killer, the killer squad. Yeah. So she, I guess, apparently at some point she has moved on. She is trying to turn a new leaf, and that's why she is the squad 4 captain now, and she's all about healing. She's not really, I'm about to go murder that whole army by myself. So going into it with the Kenpachi, we know as a little boy he always liked to fight, like you said. And nobody could beat him until finally he met with the original Kenpachi and they got into a fight. He had so much fun because literally nobody else could push him to that kind of limit. And so that's exactly why he was he handicapped himself. And that's the whole point of their fight, was because he handicapped himself for so long that he forgot his own strength.
Like he handicapped himself in order to make the fight last longer, when he could have killed her right then.
Yeah, right. Not just not just her, but every other fight. You know, back when you watch the original Bleach, right? He's always like, hey, you know, he had the eye patch and all this stuff. He only uses his like he doesn't use his Bankai or even his Shikai. He just has just the typical the standard Zanpakuto, right? And he's always like, yo, cut me. Let's fight. I want to die, but only if you're strong enough to kill me, kind of thing. And he was edging himself, trying to push himself to the brink of death because he enjoyed the fight so much. But nobody could ever get him to that point, similar to how Unohana did. And that's why when they get into the underground prison, that's all it was her trying to let him know, yo, stop handicapping yourself because you are so much stronger than this. Right now, you're a wimp compared to your previous self.
And this is without a Shinkai. This is without a Bankai. Right. And this is something that we're waiting on that unfortunately we didn't get
not yet.
This part of the season. Not yet. But we've been waiting on him to see his Bankai release. But we actually got to see hers, which was like a blood release, which was, insane. Has to be a top tier Bankai.
Yes.
Because she's able to, she kind of said that she learned how to heal herself in order to be able to be a better fighter. And then like she manipulates blood and stuff like that. So I guess it goes to what her new, to her newfound strength and stuff like that was. But how did you feel about how when she started wilding out, when she called on her Bankai, and then like the look on his face, how happy he got? It shouldn't have been any way he should have been able to beat her. Because she was trying to kill him.
This is true, but at the same time, she killed him numerous times
and kept bringing him back to life.
Exactly, but that's the thing. She kept, so they definitely sped that fight way up, but they literally, she literally killed him so many times until finally he got to the point where he was strong enough in order to hear the voice of his Zanpakuto, to where he could fight back to her level, and he was evolving throughout that fight, because that's how he grew as a fighter. Was the better the fighter that he was tackling, the stronger he got. And so
he was getting a Saiyan Zenkai boost out of nowhere.
Just
every time she healed him, he came back stronger.
Yeah, he literally basically became Goku and was like, okay, let me get beat real quick. I'm coming back 20 times stronger. Kaioken times 3,000. And then just was like, okay, we finishing this.
All right, and we also had all the captains who had their Bankai stolen, trying to figure out how to deal with that. To the point where some of them went back to the basics.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, to learn how to train the basics, because they lent so much on their abilities that a lot of them tended not to feel like they needed the basics because they were so, powerful. So that was interesting to me. To see the Ice Prince, what I'm saying, walk back into the dojo, and him actually start from the first, like teach me all the basics, and he just sitting there, because you gotta think about it, he's one for sure that labeled a prodigy, youngest captain, that really depended on his Shinkai and his Bankai. That was like, it got to the point where if his Bankai couldn't pull it off, afterwards he was just done.
Yeah, what I'm saying? It was game over. He needed someone for the assist.
Yeah, so that was interesting to me, along with the other captains, training and stuff like that, in order to be able to prepare that, especially the dog guy. I always forget his name.
Komamura.
Yeah, they stayed with him for a little bit. Him going back to his people and asking to learn their hidden technique. And because he tried to hide that he was a dog and he wanted to live amongst the humans and this wasn't their fight and everything like that, they're not going to teach him the technique. I think that's something he's going to end up being taught when they find out that what is happening in the world is also going to affect them, that they're not just going to be able to hide. they'll end up taking him and teaching him that technique. He went to the elder dog, which reminded me of the dog from a Never-Ending Story for some reason. The dragon dog, Falcor, or whatever his name was.
Yeah.
Reminded me a lot of him. They had a lot of moving parts when it comes to this. I don't know if I read this in the manga. We saw this in the episode. Did we see a conversation with Aizen, or is that me just recalling the manga?
We saw a conversation with Aizen regarding you watching him, but not the conversation I think you're referring to.
Okay, well, the conversation with him and you watching, and Aizen, I guess, trying to infinite Tsukimoyo. You watch.
Yeah. This man is.
So and
he's got he is literally the card dealer with all the cards in his hand.
Yeah, so that part is gonna be interesting to me. But before we get into the revelations of what happened with Ichigo and everything, the conversation about being able to go into the backstory of Ichigo's father and just how much of a badass he was, but how much more of a badass his mom was. Was very interesting to me. The relationship that they had, how they ended up falling, you know what I'm saying, in love, saving each other's lives. And the fact that it was Yawatch that stripped her powers from her, and that's the reason why she wasn't able to defend herself against the Hollow that killed her, because she didn't have the power, you know what I'm saying, to do so. And the interesting fact is that Ichigo being born, you know what I'm saying, of a hollow-fied Quincy, you know what I'm saying, because his mom was hollow-fied at one point that we saw, and being the product of also a Shimigami, you know what I'm saying, who gave part of his life force to keep, you know what I'm saying, keep the Hollow at bay. So it's almost like, kind of feels like to me like an immaculate inception, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Of how I came.
Dude, he's damn near a fancy Powerpuff Girl at this point. Sugar, spice, everything nice, and Chemical X. Here we go. We have Ichigo Kurosaki.
So it's super interesting how him and Kapachi's storylines kind of blend, and we're seeing that with a lot of characters. Whether it's Renchi not using his full ability, you know what I'm saying? It's I wouldn't call Ichigo B tier, right? But I wouldn't. When you talk about A tier, people who actually know how to use their abilities, Hisaika, Byakugo,
Byakuya?
Him. I was finna totally merge his name with the dude from My Hero. A lot of these names are too close together.
Pretty much.
I would call them A tier as far as being able to use their abilities, not A tier in like power ranking, but having control over the abilities that they use. And then coming to find out that like Ichigo, Renji, Kampachi, they're not even using a third of their power.
See, you are very generous by putting them B tier. So for me, I feel bad to say it, but they're bottom of the barrel. Like in terms of control of their stuff, Ichigo, as far as I'm concerned, he has no idea what he's doing. He just screams Getsuga Tensho and it works. He has never actually really utilized his actual Zanpakuto.
And to find out that that's an ability that his father had too.
Right. Because it's even more because it's technically it's not even really his. It's weird that because his old Zanpakuto, it was more or less a manifestation of his father. Like when we got to see Squad Zero and the guy who created Zanpakuto explaining, you don't even know your Zanpakuto wasn't really a Zanpakuto. It kind of blew my mind at the fact like they've been pulling this since what 2002 or whatever, when Bleach first, like just the culmination of everything, the foreshadowing. Like when I go back and I think back of the original show, I'm like, they talked about that, they showed this, they did this, to hint at this, and nobody really caught on. Obviously, the manga readers and stuff, but like it's just, damn, you really finna do this right now, and it blows my mind, dude. It blows my mind.
Yeah, went through all this training, had the conversation with his father inside his psyche. Or did he have a real conversation with his dad?
he had a real conversation with his dad, but he had a conversation with what he viewed as his Zanpakuto inside of his psyche.
Old man Gengetsu, when really his Zanpakuto was the hollowified Ichigo.
Right, but then in reality, it was actually both of them, because both of them were just the two pieces of him.
But which is why also that the old man Gengetsu looked like Yawatch. Yawa. I call him Yawa.
Right. But because it was his Quincy powers trying to manifest themselves into him. Then the hollified Ichigo, which was the hollow whatever gene that was put into him, and then plus the Zanpakuto, which was, you know, with the Getsuga Tensho and everything like that, the Zangetsu that was put in by his father. So it was all just kind of literally Powerpuff Girl. Like, they just took everything, slammed it together, and now he is just, yeah, I am the Blade. And now he has his true Zanpakuto.
Which he is the first person to actually have two. So he has two Zanpakutos.
Well, right off the jump, yeah.
Yeah, like it's not something where he says Bankai, or is that his Bankai? Is the two? Does he just have two Zanpakuto?
Well, so I'm pretty sure that it's just kind of, that's his Zanpakuto at this point.
Yeah, so if that's his Zanpakuto, what the hell does his Bankai look like?
Well, I think like it's basically, it's to the point, like thinking back to the original whatchamacallit, the original Bleach, right? He never had a standard Zanpakuto. He was always in the Shikai version because he has so much spiritual energy, right? So I feel like it's a similar situation. He has so much spiritual energy pouring out of him now that he has come to fruition of who he truly is, that he's just always in Bankai mode. So it's basically, he has gone to he's now at the starting line.
He's like S tier
at this point, yes.
Okay.
Well, he's A tier until he gets that training to be the S tier. Right now, he's at the starting line.
Oh, we know he's gonna get beat down again. He's
hands down.
We know he's gonna get beat down again. But they stopped it there. They stopped episode 13 with him having a conversation with his Zanpakuto and feeling like this is all it's going to take. But we know he's in for a rude awakening. But because everybody else has to finish their training and their power-ups. You know what I'm saying? It can't just be Ichigo by itself. There's so many storylines, you know what I'm saying, to go and what's going to happen. So, like, as far as the way that they animated, and they ran through some chapters. This was a bunch of chapters in the manga. How do you feel that the job they did animating, you know what I'm saying? Because I honestly think they did a good job. Some people feel thrown off by the pacing, but I feel like it's moving along pretty good.
See, for me, I actually enjoyed the pacing of it. It wasn't too fast, but they didn't drag on like in certain parts of the original Bleach where they would drag on. In instances when they did like the flashbacks and stuff like that, even when they did the whole storyline between, you know, when Ishin Kurosaki, Ichigo's dad, was explaining how he met the mom and all that stuff, like it felt fresh. So it didn't feel, okay, come on, get this flashback over with already. You know, I want to get back to the present. I want progression to be done, you know? So and I feel like the reason why the pacing is so thrown off is because there's so many flashbacks happening for so many different characters. There's the flashback with you know, the whole, it was 3 episodes long, explaining how Ichigo's dad met his mom. Then there was the whole storyline with Kenpachi and Unohana. Then there was kind of the mini flashback within the storytelling of how his parents met with whatchamacallit, with Urio's dad and even Aizen and his crew, before we found out that the crew was actually the crew. So, you know, it just kind of, with all of these different flashbacks going on and the transitions back to the present and to the different characters storylines. When they showed Toshiro going back to the basics, to the lieutenant of Squad 2 talking about I forgot her name. The chick who Soy Phone thing. Jesus, I always forget her name. But when Soy Phone, he's like, man, I wonder how Soy Phone's doing. Why didn't she bring me? And then it transitions to her literally doing push-ups on a mountain with one hand. So like there was so many transitions and so many different storylines that they were progressing. I feel like that's why people were so thrown off by the pacing.
Wasn't somebody training with like one of the holofied fighters? Like it was a bunch of stuff going on.
Yes. Oh, yes, you are right. Shuhei, my man, with the 60, I think it's 68 or 69 on his cheek, and he's got the death sights as his Shikai. Yes, he's learning with she's the fighter girl. I think her name's Mashino or Mashima.
Yeah, it looks like when she holofies, she looks like a video game character. Like it don't even look like a.
And she's a fist fighter,
Yeah, and it's the holofied captain has got him. You know what I'm saying? The dude who's the captain has got him. You know what I'm saying? Doing
the military dude. Yeah, with the military. His thing's the military knife or the hunting knife or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're in the woods and they're doing something with it. And he wasn't even really a part of the series or the season until he had like a little like glimpse and then he was kind of gone and now he's back.
I want to see when they accepted all these characters back into the run. You know what I'm saying? Like I want that. Like, I don't know if I missed it, but I want that when they accept them back in the ranks and when they got their captain status. You know what I'm saying? All that when
reinstated and stuff.
Yeah, reinstated and everything, and the fact that they were experimented on. I mean, we're learning a lot. The fact that they were experimented on, and that's the reason why you know what I'm saying they become hollows and the experimentation that Aizen was doing, and
like what he was trying to do and stuff.
Yeah, in order to create things because it was all about making that jewel. You know what I'm saying? That
he wanted to be in Squad 0 because they're just dope. I wanted to see. Now, speaking of them, I really wish they would have dived and delved into them way more than what they did. Granted, like it was supposed to be about Ichigo and Renchi, but they should have definitely. I wish they would have gave more for them. Like. I just think they're cool. They're OP.
We got the little bit of backstory back when they, you know what I'm saying, they took us back at with the Cap. You know what I'm saying? Rest in heaven, rest in peace. Dopest Zanpakuto Bankai release ever. You know what I'm saying?
The fact he's got 4 more. All right, how many you're goated when you have different modes for your Zanpakuto that you can call at will. At will. Come on, man.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I'm looking forward to seeing what a lot of these people develop because we know they're going to get their Bankais back. We know, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know how these stories go. Sure. I want to see how goated Ichigo gets. And I'm mad because there's not really a story. I mean, there's like a little epilogue after, you know what I'm saying, 1,000-Year Blood Arc. You know what I'm saying? Because I think Ichigo becomes not an honorary Shimigami, but he ends up becoming, you know what I'm saying, part of the Gotai 13.
You are missing out, my friend. There is a whole sequel series to Bleach right now. It's like a spin-off, but at the same time, like the sequel series, it's called Bleach Can't Fear Your Own World or something like that, or Can't Fear Your World. I'm probably butchering that name, but it follows what's his name? He's the guy with the bowl cut, the blonde bowl cut. He's like the leader of the advisor. It's him.
Yeah.
And this is the reason why I know why they're bringing Shuhei into this, because he's goated, but he is also a big player in that story arc. So just watch out for that boy, because he is goated too. He is goated.
Okay. Oh. In the back end of these few episodes, like 9 through 13, what is your highlight that stands out to you?
I'm not gonna lie, the biggest highlight of it was the ending, like the absolute ending, well, I guess the two parts of it was the sole fact of Ichigo basically coming to terms with who he is and then saying the blade is me, and then it fades to the credits and stuff. And then the after credit scene when we see Uryu joining up with you're watching them. At least he's standing there. We don't know if he's like joining them. We don't know if he's infiltrating them. We don't know why he's there, but he is decked out in their attire and their garb, and he's standing with them. So it's just like, but that's it. That's all they gave us, was that he's there. Why is the, and granted, they showed it in the opening, you know, in the opening theme, but it's still just like, how did this happen? Why did this happen? They were showing, he was trying to figure out what happened with the Quincy's, what's going on with his dad and all this stuff. He found the book, the journal, and then they were just like, yeah, we're just gonna just throw him over there. We're not gonna talk about it.
We're not gonna explain what he read, what he found, nothing. We're just gonna show you that we're just gonna let you know, no matter what he read or any information he had, this is why he made the decision he made.
Right. And now he's there. You know, at the very last second, they pull him in. And it's just like, you have explained everything else. You have told everybody else's backstory. He is literally one of the main supporting roles in this dang show. You're just gonna, all right. Hey, no, wait, come back. You know, like, man, like that. It was a good cliffhanger point for them to transition to the next season.
For me, it's who became the captain commander of the Gold Tide 13.
That was clean. I always was calling that. He was the best. He was my favorite captain.
And we still haven't seen his freaking Bankai.
But there's a reason for that, though. There's a reason.
What is the reason?
It's because his Zanpakuto, his Bankai is so strong, it literally utilizes his own life force and will kill him upon, like, if he uses it, and he risks him dying. And so his own, that's why during the Zanpakuto arc, when they're all alive and stuff, he has the two, they literally do not want him using his Bankai. So that's why we only see him using his Shikai, but he's still goated with the Shikai. The fact that this man is captain and only uses his Shikai and still mops the floor with how many people?
True.
So just imagine when he goes and uses his Bankai. How goated is it? No, there is a reason why this man was picked the squad captain after the last dude was there for 1,000 years. It's not just because he was one of his disciples. That man is OP.
I got to give it to you. I got to give it to you on that with that explanation. I still, you know what I'm saying? I was excited when that came by to him, because he like, it seemed like he reluctantly took it.
Oh, he had to.
Like, he didn't want it, but you know what I'm saying? Like he had to take it.
Oh yeah, the Soul King said, you're the new squad leader.
Yeah,
that's it. And then he had to make a big stink in order. He has 2 lieutenants.
Yeah, he said, I do it, but I need 2 lieutenants.
Right. I need one that knows me and one that knows the needs of the role. And they were like, no, too bad. If you want me, you gonna need it. Okay, my bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, he had them, like, he shut them up quick. Like when he went in front of the little council or whatever, and he was talking, he was like, look, it's my way, or pick somebody else.
Right. Or just let the world die.
Yeah, it's nobody else to pick. It's like, who else do you pick from there? You got the old Kampachi getting ready to go die, because they had that conversation when he was like, yeah, she's training, you know what I'm saying, with him, and they're like, what? You know what I'm saying? They were mad about that.
Why?
Because that was probably their second choice if he didn't take it.
Oh yeah. And then there's Jushiro, I think, the other dude, but that dude's been dying since episode 3. So I mean, they can't pick a dying man to be the squad captain.
Which I still don't understand how Shimigami gets that illness and is going to die.
I think maybe it's just like his
life force or something, like his soul.
His life source is, you know, like cursed or poisoned or something, or like, you know, maybe like when he was alive, he had cancer or something, and it followed him to the next life.
That's weird to me. Don't let me die twice.
Right.
Like I'm dead. Don't let me suffer for something I had in the real world.
But like,
I need a backstory. I need a one shot on him and why he's sick.
For real. Like, and then that's another thing. So they showed like 4 squad captains over the whole court. Where were all these other homies? Where were they?
It's 13 of them. It's
right.
13 of them.
But that's what I mean. They showed like 4 of them out there fighting. But then where were the other 8? Like, what? You know, because, and I don't know, but it was, for what it's worth, it was, for me at least, they ended strong. So hopefully they start strong with the follow up.
Hopefully we'll see what happens with that. So going from where we left off, which was a perfect, you know what I'm saying, halfway point, and how they did that. What are you most excited for when the show comes back in July?
I am honestly probably the biggest thing that I'm excited about is the game plan. So they know, at least Ichigo knows, that they're in Hueco Mundo. So first it's going to have to be Ichigo coming back to the squad captains. Hey, are y'all ready? Because we're about to go to war. Him trying to, I guess, like when they get the whole group in there and everybody's just, you know, like it's literally right after the training arc, that tension rise, and they're about to walk. You know, like we're about to go to war, you know, like we're about to go mess some stuff up. I'm waiting for that moment because it's going to happen when they go back. All right, we're about to start round 2 instead of have round 1, how it started with them coming to us. We're coming to them. Just, it's like we're about to unleash that feeling of they just opened up a can of whoop ass and y'all don't want to stand in the way.
Right.
And that's always, it's such a climactic moment. And then
I think I'm waiting on the reaction of them seeing the level of power that Ichigo has and the realization that is not enough. You know what I'm saying? Like them looking like, what did Ichigo, why is he, we can actually win this just to get crushed. And watching everybody react to that and seeing how Ichigo deals, you know what I'm saying, with that.
That's fair. That's gonna be intense too, for sure.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's the reason why this is one of the big, to me, this is one of the big 3.
You know, oh yeah, for sure. Not just for the sales, but just like story wise. Oh. But there's another scene that I think that I'd be most, when he first encounters Uryu being on the other side, him and Ichigo first encountering each other. That is dude. I'm getting chills just thinking about it.
Yeah, because he always pulls his punches on his friends, no matter what they do, and it's like, I don't know.
You got to mop the floor with this dude.
Yeah.
You know, you did not just have this whole power up thing. You ain't about to hit him with the talk no jutsu. We're gonna talk this out. You know, right. you better use your dual wielding powers and mop the floor with this bow wielding dude.
Right, definitely. Well, I can't wait. July can't get here quick enough, man. This has been some goated anime, and I'm looking forward to what we've seen. I'm actually gonna go back and watch it again because it's actually, you know what I'm saying, that dope.
It is truly, especially whatchamacallit, Yamamoto's fight when he whipped out the four seasons of Zanpakuto on someone. Oh yeah, definitely. That hands down.
All right, well, here's your time to shine. Go ahead and let them know where they can find you at, brother.
You can find me over on the Instagram at Anime Assembled. Honestly, we've been actually kind of taking a little break for the holidays and stuff like that, but we're gonna start kicking up, making posts on there again very, very soon. So definitely we got a whole bunch of, there's like 350 something posts on there, so you can go check out any of them, and then there'll be more coming soon. So definitely check that out. And of course, he's gonna tell you where he's at.
Yeah, definitely. As always, you guys can find me right here at A Plus Hero Report, right here on the YouTube. Don't forget to follow, like, and subscribe. You can catch me also on the Anime Assemble Instagram. You can catch me at Nerd Mix Music on Instagram. Make sure you come tap in, see what we got going on. Man, y'all is not ready for what we're finna do. Like that, y'all not ready.
Big look,
man. Look, man, if you haven't checked out Bleach 1,000-Year Blood War arc, you haven't checked out Bleach in general, you can watch the entire series on Hulu. So you can go right on Hulu, get every season of Bleach, and you can get current on the 1,000-Year Blood War arc. Go check that out, man. Hulu did us a great thing. Disney did us a great thing by, you know what I'm saying, throwing that all on Hulu so we can go and check it out. I even found myself going back watching a couple of arcs where I don't, you know what I'm saying, remember everything.
Right.
So guys, take the chance to show that out, because the more support we show to anime, the more anime we get. All right. So until next time, as always.
Oh yeah.
Keep it A+. This has been a Nerd Mix. Anime Assemble.
Oh yeah. Doses.
Yeah, we out as soon as I figure out what I did with the outro video. Peace.